there is hardly any part of Nigeria where you don't have solid minerals, even in the south-south. But what I observe, whereas the federal government is ruthless with people who are doing illegal oil buckling, and they deploy JTF to deal with those involved in illegal buckling. When it comes to illegal mining of solid minerals, the federal government changes. It's like using different standards. And I'm very angry about that. Because if we have to fight, deploy army, even to kill, for anyone who is involved in illegal buckling of oil, and you deploy JTF, a combination of army, police, air force, everybody, why are we allowing illegal mining in many parts of the country that is going on? And they are being mined by retired generals, and we know them. Yes, we know them. Nobody can pretend he doesn't know them. I did a letter to retired former President Buhari, because somebody I sent to go and conduct a primary somewhere reported back to me, a retired general of Northern Extraction, told me that, look, Adams, you are worried about the challenge of conducting primaries in Zamfara. The challenge he sees there is far more than that. And if it's not dealt with, Nigeria will not know peace in parts of the country. And this gold go all the way through the belt, all to Kaduna. And it, up to, yeah, correct. And he told me that those involved in this illegal mining, they use choppers. They procure arms exactly the same way as our military were doing in the South-South. They give them arms. They use choppers to come and cut away the gold. And they take them out of this country and make billions of US dollars. And the federal government is not doing what it should be doing. I took this letter to the former president when I was national chairman of APC. And I said, call the general to give you more brief. In fact, what is happening, or what subsequently happened in that part of the country, was exactly what the general told me was going to happen. Because these guys have been weaponized by the illegal big men who deploy them, secure territories, and the weapon is meant to protect the Chinese and other foreigners who they actually employ to carry out the mining. And on occasion, they use the same weapon to carry out banditry, kidnapping, and all of the terrible things that are going on. Chief of Committee Chairman of Defense Staff, tell the defense I said so. That some retired military officers, army officers are involved in it. The day we can't tell the truth, this country cannot flourish. We can't change our, when it affects our people, we are at our best. We talk strong. Some other people appear to be above the law. That is what is going on with solid mineral. It is not that we don't know where it is. We have a whole survey of where we have what across the length and breadth of Nigeria. We also know, everybody complaining about certain people from certain nationalities. How they got here, even as we are talking now, they are doing those illegal mining. And those guys are getting richer when Nigeria State is getting poorer. But we carry the consequences of banditry, kidnapping, and that which these on illegal armed men, which they equip. Sir, who can afford to buy a chopper to land in an illegal mining site, cut away gold, return to Sediti, and then on the way to airport, bam, take them out of the country? This is happening. So I agree with you, but my position is that we shouldn't, as senators, be lamenting. As senators, we should fix the problem. We should tell the executive, you must deploy exactly the same force that you deploy against illegal oil buckling. That same force should be deployed to deal with criminals who are money. When I say criminal, it can be a retired general, it can be a retired permanent secretary, it can be a retired trade unionist or a retired labor leader. Whoever is involved, they should be dealt with. Let Nigeria see that we are not condoning this. We are not lamenting what is going on. When you have a country of people who are above the law because they are supposed to have served the country, they have retired, and now they become the real barons. So I agree with you that the solid sector, and I'm happy with the word made by Baba that oil was discovered by accident. What they were looking for was solid minerals. And now what was discovered is like that what has become of the public sector, the power sector. We used to say generator as a standby. Now the standby is disco power. The resource of power is generator. I don't think we should lament here. We should recommend steep penalties, and through the leadership of the Senate and the National Assembly, draw President's attention that he has to find the political will to deal decisively with criminals that are cutting away our precious stones and other precious solid minerals. Thank you, sir, for this privilege. I don't like to... what I didn't hear from you is whether there is a plan in the budget to provide for recruitment of more men. Because I know during the campaign we said we can double the size of the armed forces because the population of Nigeria has doubled from after the Civil War. Now, if this is on the table rather, I will understand. But our armed forces must be made accountable. They must be made accountable because it borders on blackmail. We say we don't give more money. Since I came here, I arrived at the Senate. We have done for the general nation 2 appropriations, 2024 and 2033. The armed forces, we've done several supplementary appropriations. And the revelation on the floor of the Senate is that they are buying the wrong equipment. Now today, when you said we should do proper oversight, I raised that motion that the Committee on Navy, Army, Air Force, and others should benefit from robust National Assembly oversight functions. That motion was defeated. It is on record that the armed forces are oftentimes or sometimes procuring equipment that they really don't need. The issue of the yacht is one shining example of complete gold displacement. I think they spent about $6 million converted to Naira that they were asking for to maintain the yacht. And I remember President Buhari said he never asked them to buy yacht. Which president will go on a yacht? On holiday? So I think when you say we should remove them to first line charge, you must trace the origin of the security crisis we are facing today. The only thing I will favor for first line charge is education. Because people who are educated and skilled, they are unlikely to be so poor that a terrorist organization can easily recruit them. If we put all the money to defend the country, and there's nothing left to do education, nothing left for healthcare, nothing left for investment in the manufacturing sector, all of those things that we ensure that our GDP grows at a reasonable basis, at least at a rate higher than our population growth, our poverty will remain endemic. The super highway to criminality is hunger and starvation. So the armed forces have to understand that Nigeria doesn't have unlimited resources. And when they are buying equipment, they should buy what works. They have the scandal about buying second-hand equipment, military equipment. And as oversight, you can trade that, you're all right, you retire as a senior military officer. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So when you say we should remove them from, they should have first line charge. Everybody first line charge, first line charge. Navy, Air Force. What will be left in the treasury for the mass of our people? Are they going to be defending the graveyard? So we need to draw a sensitive balance. And there is no question that we need to enhance the competence and the proper kitting of the men and women who have put out their life for Nigeria. And I want to be on record that I do, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate, and I continue to appreciate the enormous, huge sacrifices that our men and women in uniform are making. But their senior officers should be encouraged to procure wisely in line with what the military need. Sir, so you are probably from Northwest, Northeast. Chairman, there's no better place to speak to this. I am sure if you engage some of the soldiers on the field, they tell you they give them the ration bullets. They don't have enough ammunition. Whereas the terrorists are, that is not because of budgeting. So we need to scrutinize and encourage and do everything to persuade the leadership of the armed forces to put the right priority in the right places. But if money was unlimited, anything you want, take and secure me. But here I have so little, I have to balance between my kitchen, my security, roof over my head, water for me to drink, a hospital for me to go to. Because even if the army secure my life, they do not really secure my head. So all of this, the federal government has to deal with. So in a sense, we need to be sympathetic to the executive as to how does it get this money. And I go back to President Buhari's repeated statement. I am trying to draw a bucket of water from a dry well. Whosoever has to take a cup from that dry well should make sure that he sip it slowly as and when necessary to survive 365 days before another round of budget is done. We shouldn't give anybody as legislature knowing the fact, because we are approving loans and loans and loans, and Nigerians are abusing of approving loans. When they are so approving, we cannot now ask the president to spend over and above the revenue available, whether through what we generate or through what we borrow. So it's not about whether we like it. It's about, my friend, I have limited money. Manage it judiciously. Refocus your priorities. They should be accounting. Nobody should be above accountability. I think if we do that with the money they have. Now, TRADOC cannot be different from the Air Forces. When they get the envelope, it's up to the Army to say, TRADOC should attract this. If they choose not to, it's not for the Senate to lament it. Because they have to determine their own priorities. And I thought training is a priority, but if they think otherwise, it is their choice. But sir, remember, Nigeria doesn't have all the money, and many people are opposed to Nigeria borrowing more and more money because that is the debt our children are going to pay. Let them pay for the railways we are building. Let them pay for the superhighway that will be in existence. Let them pay for a model airport. These are the things that when they are paying, they say, oh yes, our parents spent money on this, now we are paying for it. But if they can't find what they are paying for, there is a double jeopardy. So we as senators who are also responsible for representing our constituents and who understand the challenges facing our constituents have to help the executive to do a very delicate balance. But I'm sympathetic. We must commend the Army and the Air Force, in fact, the military, for the supreme price many men and women have paid. And I pray that God will bless them. And Nigeria gets richer, it should also invest more in its armed forces. But for now, the envelope system, we can't escape from it.